Hi everyone, my name is Tara, and I'm a baby pteranodon. I have a lot to learn before I can join my flock. And all my teachers work real hard to teach me.
So Tara wanted to learn all about Pokemon today, so we're at the Sternberg learning about Pokemon. Let's go to our first station and see what they have to say. Hi guys!
So at this station we're talking about genetic mutations and speciation. So here we have 3 modern examples of the same species of snake. But as you can see, they all have different colors. And this is because they're all found in different environments. So this lighter colored snake is found in grassy areas where you have lots of sunlight. And this darker colored snake is found in areas where it's forested, so you have lots of shadows. Then you even have this speckled version, which, do you have any guess on why it's speckled?
It's somewhere kind of forested, but not.
Exactly. So it's a little less forested, so the sunlight can still peek through, and that's why the specks still help to camouflage the snakes.
Oh,
So cool, right? And it's kind of
so
similar
cool.
to these Pokemon because they live on the same island, but there's a mountain range separating them. So over time, the different populations start to have variations that are favored on each side of the coast. So they have different color variations over time, even though they're still the same species.
that's
same
so
Pokemon.
weird. Awesome.
And it kind of works the
What's over
same
here?
way with islands. So on the mainland, there's Vulpix and Raichu. Vulpix is a fire Pokemon, and Raichu is an electric one. And then on the Aleutian Islands, there's different variations of Vulpix, which is white and it's an ice Pokemon, and Raichu, which is electric and psychic. So being separated by water in between has caused different variations to be favored. Similar to in the Galapagos Islands, Darwin's finches, same species but different variations depending on the different types of food that they're eating. So their beaks, are going to be different shapes for different food specializations.
That is awesome.
It all stems back to genes and mutations.
So back when we go to genetics, Mew is the genetic ancestor of all Pokemon. So all Pokemon basically come from the same genetic material as Mew does. And that's one of the reasons why Mew knows all the Pokemon moves. And then you have certain Pokemon like Eevee that can evolve into many different types of Pokemon depending on which types of stones it's in contact with, like the Fire Stone or the Thunder Stone or the Water Stone. And because they come in contact with these different stones, they can turn into like Flareon, which is a fire-type Pokemon that lives in volcanoes.
That's so cool.
Do you have a favorite type of Pokemon, Tara?
I don't know. I'm really kind of liking that little brown one who can turn into all the Pokemon.
That's a really cool one.
All right, well, Miss Dara, is there anything else we can learn?
Well, yeah, let's go to the next station and see what they have.
Awesome, let's go. Thank you.
Thank you. Look at this, Tara. What do you think they are?
Things that are not pterosaurs.
Very good. Well, let's go see what they have to tell us and see how they relate to Pokemon.
Those things relate to Pokemon?
Yeah,
No
isn't that
way.
cool?
What?
All right. Do you have some questions for them?
So what are those things over on the wall, and what are these other things on your table?
Well, Amistar is based off of ammonites, and ammonites were kind of like this fossil mollusk that was in the seaways. in the Cretaceous period, and anomalocaris is what they were called. They would eat them, and as you can see from the mouth parts, they had a really vicious-looking mouth, and they would just crunch down on those ammonites and eat them. And you can see from the lobes on the side of it that they could swim with those and get around just like the Pokemon does.
Wow, so those guys are really dangerous.
Yeah, they
Oh my
were like
gosh.
really big predators of the sea.
That's scary.
Yeah.
So what about this guy? What's this one?
And you can see that Lily is based off of crinoids, and
There you go. Okay, we're good.
Lily is based off of crinoids, and they look like flowers, but they're actually animals. And you can see that they have stems kind of like flowers, but they're not. They're animals.
What? And
Yeah.
and so what's this guy? What's this
You wanna
thing?
explain?
So that is basically it's a holdfast, which is where their stem, they basically attached to it, attached to rocks, and this is how they attach to it.
Oh, okay. So they stay in place, but they're animals. Animals that don't move. Ish.
Yes.
Maybe?
Yep,
Okay.
just like that.
Awesome! These guys are weird.
Yeah, they're called lilies of the sea, but they're animals. Isn't that weird?
That's confusing. But okay. Hey, so those guys are cool and kind of weird. But what about this guy? He looks familiar.
Which one? The trilobite
Oh.
or
Sorry. That guy.
this guy?
That guy.
Well, Yen Mega is based off of ancient big dragonfly, and these guys were apex predators of the sky. They were like big dragonflies that just ate everything that they came across. They were vicious. They were
Goodness.
they had a wingspan of 2 to 3 feet, so they were pretty cool. And Yen Mega, you can see that kind of reflects what they look like pretty well.
So does mega mean big?
Yes, Mega means big, and yeah, they definitely like lived up to the name.
So Tara,
Cool. Yeah.
do you have a favorite Pokemon from this station?
Let's see. Pokemon Yan Mega. Leap. How do you say that one, Miss Dara?
Lily.
Leap. And I like that guy. I can't say his name, but he's pretty.
You like Anara?
Yeah, that one.
Alright, that's an awesome Pokemon. We like that one.
All right, Miss Dara. What's that thing?
This is called a trilobite.
What's a trilobite?
They're kind of like roly-polies, but they lived in the ocean.
Oh, are they scary guys like Amnori?
They could be, but you know, there's lots of different types.
Oh,
But they wouldn't eat pterosaurs.
oh, ooh, good. He looks kind of scary too.
So let's go to the Ice Age exhibit and see what animals were inspired by the Ice Age.
Ooh, let's go.
All right. Look, Tara, you found a Pokemon.
I found which Pokemon is that?
Let's see what it says. It's a Mamoswine.
Mamoswine?
Yep, let's remember that.
Okay, the Mamoswine. Mamoswine. Okay, I got
Let's
this.
go see
I got
what they
this.
have to tell us about it.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions for them?
So, I just found a Mamoswine. What's that?
A Mamoswine, that is one of our Pokemon that we're featuring today. And right now, we're actually looking at what they're similar to. What do you think Mamoswine was modeled after?
So, it looked a lot like the really big guy over there.
Do you know what that really big guy is?
Well, I don't know his name, but he looks a lot like the guy in this blue poster over here.
Yeah, so that's actually a mammoth. So,
Mammoth. Wow.
mammoths and actually pigs are what mammoth swine was designed for. And you can see it because he has a snout, like just a flat nose, instead of a long trunk, like a mammoth would have. Mammoths are very similar to elephants, so you would expect it to have a long trunk like that. What do you think mammoth swine ate? Or mammoths, in fact?
Well, they probably don't eat fish like I do.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well,
it'd go very well.
Yeah. So it lived during the Ice Age, and really the only options were eating plants or eating meat. Do you think it ate plants or meat?
He doesn't look that scary, so plants?
Plants, exactly.
Yay!
It's really hard to find plants when there's a lot of snow around, unfortunately. So what the mammoth did was it used its big tusks and it swept all the snow off the ground, and then it grabbed the grass with its trunk and then put it in its mouth. And that's how it managed to get food. We actually have a really cool fossil on the table that kind of shows that. That is the mammoth tooth.
Look at that.
It's bigger than you.
That is so big!
And
Oh
get
my
this,
gosh!
This is one tooth.
One? No. That's not
Pretty
one.
Cool.
That's more than one.
It's bigger than you. It's way bigger than your teeth. Can you imagine having a tooth that's as big as your head, as a human head? That's crazy. But what it did was it grabbed the grass out of the ground and then set it in between the teeth and then ground up the grass so that it could eat it better.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Some of our other Ice Age animals that we have around here are things like the bison. This is actually a modern bison, but we have fossil bison in here as well. We have bison latifrons, which is over in the corner here. It's the one with the really big horns on top of its head. And that's just like the Pokemon Buffalont.
Yeah.
Big
And then our final one that we're talking about here.
Buffalont. Buffalont's really fluffy.
Yeah, he's got lots of hair, very fuzzy.
Wow.
But you notice all of these ate grasses and vegetation, right? So then we have to show one carnivore, and we have
Ooh.
our saber-toothed cat.
Wow.
Pretty
Those are
ferocious
really
looking.
big teeth, but very different big teeth than the mammoth swine.
Exactly. You can see how different they are between this one and then these sharp teeth because they ate different things.
Oh, gotcha.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one fossil saber tooth right in the back here.
We have all kinds of Ice Age animals. So we have things like American lions, our saber-toothed cat, which we mentioned, the giant short-faced bear, and even dire wolves. So there's all kinds of super fun stuff over here in our Ice Age exhibit.
Wow. Are all of those carnivores too? Like the
all
cat?
All the ones over there are. But we also have things like giant beavers, which ate trees, just like modern beavers do. So lots of plant-eating and meat-eating animals.
Wow. So, Miss Teacher in yellow, what are you? You don't look like a normal human.
Pikachu!
Pika, what?
It's just another Pokemon.
Okay.
Tara, do you have a favorite Pokemon that you learned about today?
What's the name of this cat one? How do you say that?
Raichu. Or
Raikou.
Raikou.
Raikou. He looks really cool. He's kind of scary looking, but he looks very cool.
Very cool. So would you like to go to the next station and see what we can learn there?
Yeah, of course.
Right, let's go.
All right.
See you later, Tara.
Bye.
Yeah.
Look, Tara, you found another Pokemon.
I did. Oh my gosh, that thing is so cool. Well, what is it?
It's a Tortuga.
Tortuga. It looks like a turtle, maybe.
That's it? Let's go over here and see what they can tell us about it.
Okay, let's go.
All right, Tara, what are your questions?
So, I just found a Pokemon called Tortuga.
Yeah,
Can you tell me more? It kind of looks like a turtle,
it does
but
look like a turtle. That's right.
it
Tortuga
looks weird.
is its original form, and it also has an evolved form, which is Caracasta.
What's a Carcasta?
He is the stronger form of Taratuga.
Ooh.
And here,
Based off of fossils, such as this turtle skull that we have here.
Ooh, that's a big head.
Bigger than you are, Tara.
I think I can fit. I think I can fit in his eye.
want to see?
Yeah. Let's see. There I am. Oh yeah. I can make a nest in here. Wow. Cool.
You want to learn about more?
Yeah. What else lived with Tortuga and Caracasta?
So we have an Aerodactyl, which is a pterosaur, and we find the bones of pterosaurs that were flying above the ocean here, that was here in Kansas.
Cousin.
Yeah, this is based off of you.
Hey, I look like those. Are those guys pterosaurs like me?
They sure are. This is one of your extinct cousins.
Oh my gosh, cousin. You're not moving.
And we also find ammonites in the seaway.
Ooh, what's it?
They're closely related
They
to
look
squid
familiar.
and octopus.
You learned about those earlier, didn't you?
Oh yeah, they look familiar. I think I remember swimming over them a couple of times.
So if we find ammonites, and we find turtles, and we find fish and sharks and all kinds of things like that, what do you think that says about Kansas?
That there was water, of course.
Of course, exactly. Pretty neat.
Yeah. So much fun.
So Tara, did you have a favorite Pokemon from this table?
Oh, this one's easy. Aerodactyl, of course.
Of course.
He's a pterosaur like me.
Right, do you want to go to one more station?
Only one more?
Well, we'll see.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Look, Tara, it's your family.
It's my family. Hey guys, how are y'all? Woo. All right. So, do we have more to learn about right now?
Now we're gonna learn about some dinosaur Pokemon.
What?
All right,
Yay.
let's go see. Do you have any questions for them?
Okay, I hear you have dinosaur Pokemon. What dinosaur Pokemon are there?
All right, so we got this one right here. This is Tropius, and he is a photosynthetic flying sauropod.
What's
So-
a photo?
Means he can create his own energy because he's actually also a plant,
Oh, so he's a plant
and he's
an
also a
animal?
dinosaur. Yes, apparently.
Okay.
So, and then we also have Tyrantrum, who's a dragon rock type, and a Tyrannosaurus. And yeah.
Okay.
And then we've got Rampardos, who's a Pachycephalosaur, probably Stegosaurus, because we've got his little endocast right here. And with the reinforced skulls, they could run into each other. And Rut.
Huh. He looks like a pretty angry dude. Is he a carnivore?
No, he's actually not. Although, okay.
Well, the Pokemon is actually carnivorous, but if you look at the actual teeth of the skull of the actual animal, they don't look very sharp compared to teeth like Allosaurus, like this tooth over here.
Oh, okay. So he's a nice Pokemon.
Probably.
Or at least...
Just
A nice
because it's an
dinosaur.
herbivore doesn't mean it's nice, you know.
Oh, okay.
Just ask the hippopotamus.
It eats tons of plants.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's not very nice to plants then.
No,
Like to munch on them.
Nobody's nice to plants.
So Tara, do you have a favorite Pokemon you learned about?
I kind of like that Tropius one. He makes his own food.
Wouldn't that be cool?
So easy. I had to hunt for my fish.
Tropius is actually garbage, but like, you know.
Well, all right, let's go to our last
Power
station and
wise,
see
at least.
Chase, the Pokemon trainer.
Another Pokemon trainer?
I know, isn't it cool?
What? Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you.
All right, Tara, we're at our last station where we're meeting up with Trainer Chase. Let's see what he has to tell us.
All right.
Hi Tara, I'm Trainer Chase and this is my Geodude Trevor.
Hi.
and we're going to tell you today about different evolutionary misconceptions that you may have about the process of evolution.
So, I like to start by talking about this bird right here. This is a very strange bird because it's a pheasant, but it has white feathers, and that's not something you see a lot of. They usually have green or brown feathers. Well, this one has what they call a mutation, where whenever it was born, it had different colored feathers than normal, and because of that, it's just very easy to see. So, this pheasant actually was hunted a lot earlier than it should have been because it could not blend in with its environment.
And what that process is actually called, in this case man-made, but what that process is natural selection. So sometimes animals have less survivability than other animals, and so they're less likely to pass on their gene. Over time, this results in changes in populations of organisms, which is the main driving mechanism behind what's called evolution. And despite what you may have learned and what Pokemon may have taught you, evolution is not a straight trajectory where one animal changes directly into another. It's more of a branching pattern where animals over time split off into different isolated areas and undergo what's called speciation, where one animal species will actually split into two. Here we have an ancient bird called Archaeopteryx, a cast of one, and it is a distant relative of modern birds. And some people might think that this is the direct ancestor of birds, but in fact, it's an offshoot that eventually went extinct. And that's oftentimes how evolution works. The more competitive organism, the one that's better adapted to its environment, will tend to outcompete the older species, and eventually that species will go extinct. And so that's how you can go from something like a Tyrannosaurus-like Pokemon here, Tyrantrum, over time to a more eagle-like Pokemon like Pidgeot. In the same way, we went from something like Archaeopteryx to this neat white pheasant. And evolution necessarily takes place between generations across an entire population. In Pokemon evolution is actually more similar to what we would call metamorphosis in modern animals.
So yeah, in Pokemon, you always hear about, oh, I gotta have a Caterpie, and then it evolves into a Metapod, and someday it's gonna be a Butterfree. And they call that evolution. Well, that's metamorphosis. And you see that in the real world with not just things like caterpillars and butterflies, but also tadpoles and frogs, where you have these changes in one particular individual, one animal, but in evolution, those changes happen between generations. Coming back to the pheasant here, the reason you don't see a lot of white pheasants running around is because oftentimes the white pheasants are not able to have babies, so that's why you see the green and brown ones running around, because it's much more advantageous for them to blend in with their environment and to stand out.
Yep. And so the key here is that evolution takes place in a population over long spans of time, whereas metamorphosis takes place in a population, in an individual over its single lifespan.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense, Tara?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, good.
A lot of information, but I think I got it.
Good.
Cool. So what are these guys? I like these pictures. Are all of those Pokemon? I recognize that one. I know that one. That's Mamoswine.
Right, and so these Pokemon are all adapted to cold climates. And so in this case, we have a penguin Pokemon, a woolly mammoth Pokemon, and a polar bear Pokemon. And as you can see, they're very similar in design to the modern animals that also live in Arctic climates. So this is an example of science actually informing the art within Pokemon. So this isn't a coincidence, ice types and Pokemon that tend to live in cold places are often modeled after living animals that live in cold places, similar water, fire types, and such. And so this is a perfect example of science informing the art, and it not being just a random process where they just randomly design Pokemon. They're actually basing it on the real science, and hopefully that allows some education to seep in through these games for people playing them.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. I like science. I like it when they get it right.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you have any more questions for him?
No, but Miss Tara, which Pokemon's your favorite one?
My favorite Pokemon? Well, that's easy. I like Omanite.
Omanite?
Yep, because I study ammonites in real life.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Chase,
Yes.
which Pokemon is your favorite?
My favorite Pokemon is a big lizard called Sceptile.
That pile.
Yes. Because I like lizards in real life. So that's the reason.
Okay. Sounds like a good reason to me. Good. Thank you so much, Trainer Chase.
Thanks, Tara.
Thank you.
You did.
So, Miss Tara, is that everything?
That is everything we have today.
Aw.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the lessons. Bye.
Bye.